Hello, and welcome to things I find interesting that happened today in the past, aka Tifitht Itp. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things I personally find intriguing enough for me to bring to you. The source of this information comes from the smart device application on this day, the icon of which can be seen as cutoff prevention at the beginning and end of each episode. The music in the background is Breakaway by Foria, which I found on the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds. For links to the app, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar. Anyway, on with the show! Today is Monday, February 22nd, 2016. In 2014, Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych was impeached by the Verkhovna Rada of the Ukraine by a vote of 328-0, fulfilling a major goal of the Euromaidan rebellion. In 2011, during the Bahrani uprising, tens of thousands of people marched in protest against the deaths of 7 victims murdered by police and army forces during previous protests. In 2006, at least 6 men staged Britain's biggest robbery, stealing $92.5 million from a Securitas depot in Tonbridge, Kent. In 1997, in Roslyn, Midlands, Scottish scientists announced that an adult sheep named Dolly was successfully cloned. In 1995, the Corona Reconnaissance Satellite Program, in existence from 1959 to 1972, was declassified. In 1994, Aldrich Ames and his wife were charged by the U.S. Department of Justice with spying for the Soviet Union. Only in the United States can you get convicted with a crime decades old with a country that doesn't even exist anymore. In 1983, the notorious Broadway flop Moose Murders opened and closed the same night at the Eugene O'Neill Theater. In 1979, St. Lucia was granted independence from the United Kingdom. In 1974, the organization of the Islamic Conference Summit began in Lahore, Pakistan. 37 countries attended, as well as 22 heads of state and government. Bangladesh was also recognized. In 1973, during the Cold War, following President Richard Nixon's visit to the People's Republic of China, the two countries agreed to establish liaison offices. In 1958, Egypt and Syria joined to form the United Arab Republic. In 1944, during World War II, U.S. aircraft mistakenly bombed the Dutch towns of Bijmegen, Arnhem, Enschede, and Venter, resulting in the deaths of 800 people in Nijmegen alone. In 1924, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge became the first president to deliver a radio address from the White House. In 1915, during World War I, the Imperial German Navy instituted unrestricted submarine warfare. In 1909, the 16 battleships of the Great White Fleet, led by USS Connecticut, returned to the United States after a voyage around the world. In 1904, the United Kingdom sold a meteorological station on the South Oakley Islands to Argentina. The islands were subsequently claimed by the UK only 4 years later. In 1862, Jefferson Davis was officially inaugurated for a 6-year term as the President of the Confederate States of America in Richmond, Virginia. He was previously inaugurated as a provisional president on February 18, 1861. In 1856, the U.S. Republican Party opened its first national convention in Pittsburgh. In 1890, by the Adams-Onis Treaty, Spain sold Florida to the United States for $5 million. And in 1797, the last invasion of Britain began near Fishguard, Wales. First, Drew Barrymore, 1975, George Washington, 1732. Deaths, Amerigo Vespucci, 1512. And that concludes Tifitht Itp for your Dose Pass Events Daily. I am Ayo, and you are you. Toodles!